everyone, and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show here on BT Sports. We're at the New Lawn this weekend to see a big top-of-the-table clash between Forest Green Rovers and Lincoln City. Later on in the show, we'll get expert analysis from former Tranmere manager Gary Brabin and former Bolton and England striker Kevin Davis. Before that, here's what else is coming up in the show. Andy Cook serves up a stunning winner to help Tranmere close the gap at the top. Barrow make it 15 games unbeaten, breaking a 32-year club record. And Woking finally win away from home. But we start at the New Lawn for BT Sports' big match of the weekend. It was first versus second. Forest Green Rovers versus Lincoln City in the Cotswolds. Your commentary team, former Celtic and Brighton defender Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Wishart's with players arriving in the middle, great ball over. And there's the opener. Superbly taken by Christian Deutsch. All about the quality of the ball over, but it still needed finishing. Deutsch did that. His 7th National League goal of the season.
That's an absolute peach of a ball. We're not missing from that range.
Marsh Brown's gone for the return here. And he's got there first. It's a great chance to make it two. He tried to be unselfish. He saw Elliot Freer getting up in support. Might have gone alone there, Marsh Brown.
Well, this is an unbelievable through ball from Leon Noble. But the man of his quality, I really thought he'd go for goal himself.
Elliot Freer, an England C international. And Marsh Brown! He's done it again. A man for the big occasion. He just loves doing it in front of the TV cameras. It's Marsh Brown, the Forest Green Rovers, who are lead 2-0.
Well, you can never keep this man out of the picture. Shot of power, real quality. It's just into the back of the nets.
But they're certainly chasing it now, the Red Imps. Given away cheaply here to Nathan Arnold. Can they hit back? Oh, he's still Arnold. He's made the room for the shot. Brilliant in Woodyard. They're back in it. First time finish from Alex Woodyard. It's his first goal for Lincoln City. His first for anyone since November of 2015. The Red Imps are back in business.
Well, they capitalise on the mistake. Maybe looking at Sinclair to let Arnold cut in on his right foot. Pinnock does enough to stop it. But that's quality from the midfielder. Alex Woodyard to follow in, calmly finish it into the net. Gives his side a real lifeline now.
Oh, the header's towards goal and just kept out by Farman. Pinnock it was who rose inside the area. Traore to have a go.
This is an unbelievable save, it really is. Sees it so late as well.
They're on the verge here. Forest Green Rovers are going 12 points clear at the top of the table. If they can hold on to what they have, they've still got to get to the end here, though, and it's in! Amazing! Waterfall, the captain, has driven it home, leading by example. Forest Green couldn't hold out. Lincoln never gave in, and there's their reward. 2-2 at the New Lawn.
Well, credit to that man there, that his side never, ever given up in this second half.
5 minutes of added time. Hold on to your hats. Habergammers across to take the corner. So many forward. Into a great area. Oh, my word! It's the other centre-half. It's Sean Raggett. And Lincoln City, from nowhere, have turned this all around. The league leaders are being beaten on their own patch. Amazing from Lincoln City. No wonder they celebrate so wildly. Who knows where this could take them? Lincoln lead 3-2.
Well, what an incredible end to an incredible game.
Is that title race back on then?
Of course, we're going to push them all the way. I think we're a better side than them. I think we've got the edge now. We weren't at our best today, but we're not letting anyone run away with this league. We deserve that today. Not at our best, but Great win, great 3 points, yeah.
You know, that's not the first time this season that we've recovered from a deficit, and not the first time this season that we've managed to score in the dire moments of games. And just sitting there, that's not luck. That's credit to the players in terms of their physical fitness, but also in terms of their determination and resilience, and they're good qualities to have.
We were spot on today, apart from the set pieces, and a silly mistake for the first goal. Never really looked in danger, but if you don't do your jobs properly, that's what happens. But we'll be ready for Tuesday.
Well, what a game it turned out to be in the end between the top two clubs. Watching the game alongside me, Gary Brabbin and Kevin Davis, and Lincoln seemingly didn't look to be comfortable in the game in the first half, but what a fight back in the second.
Yeah, it was. I thought they were a completely different side in the second half, and I think the game really kicked into life in that last 20 odd minutes, and you know, I think it's a straight, I think they deserved the win as well.
Mark Cooper said after the game, Forest Green shouldn't have lost it. Would you agree with that, Kevin? Where was it lost for you?
I think I'd be disappointed with the goals that he's conceded. I think conceding, I think it's 3 minutes after they went 2-0 up, and obviously that all the momentum really swung Lincoln's way there. I think the manner of the goals, he could have been avoided really. A couple of set pieces there, 3 headers. I mean, he really wants his players to stand up and be strong and brave. Be disappointed in there having been 2-0 up as well. So he didn't look too happy afterwards, did he? He knew 12 points would have been a massive statement this time of the year, and been hard to claw back really. Now suddenly it's down to 6. And for Forest Green, a tough run of fixtures coming up now. Tranmere, Wrexham, Eastleigh, Dover. And on the back of losing a game like that, it would be interesting to see how they react now, and can they pull themselves back. A massive game for them next week.
Kev, Gary, thank you very much for your thoughts. Let's take a look then at the rest of the weekend's action. Here's Andy May.
5 league matches since the appointment of Mickey Mellon had seen Tranmere take 13 points from a possible 15. Rovers would have fancied their chances against a Braintree Town team with just 1 home victory all season. The visitors had the opportunity to take the lead after half an hour. Andy Mangan, the man brought down by Jake Goodman, penalty to Tranmere. But Braintree keeper Sam Besant is the son of Dave Besant, the first man ever to save an FA Cup final spot kick. Andy Cook finding out that talent runs in the family. Into the second half, and Hacken Retton's team almost led when George Elakobi's header was scrambled off the line. Braintree came closer still when Elakobi was denied again, with Hayretton feeling this time the ball had been cleared using a hand. But it was Cook who had the last laugh, finally beating Besant with 15 minutes to go. His 12th goal in a Tranmere shirt, and surely the best of the lot. It was enough to seal victory, as Rovers are now just 6 points away from first position.
Dagenham and Redbridge's promotion push took a big backward step last weekend with a 5-0 home defeat to Gateshead. Perhaps a good time to travel to Bootham Crescent and face a York City side without a win in 11 matches. It was 2 of John Still's star men this season that combined for the opening goal. Jordan Maguire drew with the cross, Oliver Hawkins with a towering header. 12 goals this campaign for Hawkins, the visitors in front within half an hour. And Dagenham doubled their lead on the stroke of half-time. Hawkins with the initial flick on, Luke Guttridge scoring for the first time since August, giving his team a 2-0 advantage at the interval. Gary Mills is still waiting for his first victory in his second spell as York manager. A gilt-edged chance fell to Robbie McDade, who fired well off target. Sean Newton certainly had his shooting boots on for the hosts, forcing a smart save out of Elliot Dustin. York were huffing and puffing but couldn't blow Dagenham's door down. Substitute Daniel and T spurning the best chance of the second half. Any hopes of a fight back from the home side were put to bed when they were reduced to 10 men with 9 minutes to play. Adriano Moak saw red for raising his hands to the face of Maguire Drew. Referee Martin Coy had little option but to give Moak his marching orders. Another bad day for York, who slip into the bottom 4 while Dagenham and Redbridge get back on track.
We've dropped into the relegation zone. It's not where we want to be, but we knew it was going to be, tough over the next few weeks. I'm still looking to bring a couple of players in, but if we play like that, take our chances, then we're going to win football matches.
Eastleigh in midweek had one of the most famous nights in their history, knocking League One Swindon out of the FA Cup to make round 2. Would a trip to Tyneside bring Ronnie Moore's men back down to earth? Gateshead certainly started best. An intricate passage of play saw Danny Johnson drive against the post. Despite victory at Swindon, Eastleigh hadn't won any of their last 3 matches away in the league. But they led after almost half an hour. An emphatic volley from Scott Wilson. Not a bad way to register your first goal for the club. Neil Aspin's team were protecting a 6-match unbeaten run. They were almost level right on 45 minutes when Johnson was denied by on-loan Arsenal keeper Ryan Huddart. But before the half-time whistle could be blown, Eastleigh were awarded a penalty after a clumsy challenge from Russell Penn on Jai Reason. Mikael Mandren gave Dan Hamford no chance to put Eastleigh 2 up at the interval. Into the last 20 minutes and Gateshead finally had their lifeline. It was all Sam Jones's own work as he somehow scooped the ball over Huddart and put the home side back in the game. And just 8 minutes later, Aspin's men had the chance to complete the comeback. Sub Wes York brought down in the box another spot kick. Gateshead's top scorer Johnson finally had his goal, his 9th of the season, ensuring the points were shared in what was a pulsating encounter.
Solihull Moors appointed Liam MacDonald as their new manager on Monday. The former Hensford Town boss couldn't have asked for a tougher task to start life in the National League. Paul Cox's team are unbeaten at home since February, and there were no early signs of the form book being thrown out of the window. On his 20th start of the season, Barrow defender Moussa Diarra was on the scoresheet for the first time this campaign. Cox has claimed he won't be shaving or cutting his hair until his side lose again, and a trip to the barbers looked unlikely when their top scorer Byron Harrison registered his 6th goal in 5 games. And it was Harrison who almost made it 3-0 just after the interval, but his close-range header rebounded off the woodwork. MacDonald has inherited a Solihull team in a strong position to avoid the drop and a talented squad, as evidenced by Akwasi Asante's wonderful finish to reduce the deficit and put Moors back in the game. Suddenly there was an anxious atmosphere at Holker Street. Asante again with the strike, Barrow keeper Joel Dixon with a fine reaction save. And MacDonald's men thought they'd found the equaliser when James Osborne beat Dixon, but not the crossbar. Barrow held on and have now gone 15 National League games without defeat, their best run in over 30 years.
Winning football matches is hard, and what these players are doing, what we're doing as a club, we're embracing and we're growing. So players deserve all the credit now.
We know, having come up this season, it's going to be tough. We are part-time, we've got a lot of young lads. But, we're confident in what we've got within the dressing room, and I am. And, if we can perform like we did second half today, then we'll win games of football, which is, going to make sure that we obviously stay in this league and like I say, enjoy the occasions.
2 teams with playoff ambitions met at the recreation ground, but while Aldershot had claimed more points at home than any other National League side this season, Macclesfield was struggling on a run of 6 games without a win. The hosts had the first sight of goal. Nick Arnold's free kick parried away by Macclesfield keeper Craig Ross. But it was John Askey's men that scored first. Mitch Hancock's with the cross, and Chris Holroyd got there before Jake Cole in goal to nod Macclesfield in front. Gary Waddock's side had only suffered 1 home defeat this campaign, yet they were almost 2 down before the break. A drive from Jack Mackroth palmed away by Cole. The second half was only 4 minutes old when the away team's superiority was confirmed. Danny Rowe with the cross, Holroyd again on the end of it. That's now 4 in 4 for Macclesfield's leading marksman. Aldershot did give the home fans hope of a comeback with 20 minutes to go as defender Will Evans bundled past Ross. A big win though for Macclesfield, their first against a top 10 team this season.
Woking were hoping to end a run of 8 league games without a win when they faced Maidstone United at the Gallagher Stadium. The hosts were in a similarly poor run of form with only 1 win in their last 7. And they only have 2 wins at home all season, but they had the clearest of the early opportunities when Jamal Loza burst through the visitors' defence, only to be denied by Brandon Hall. On the half-hour mark, it was the away side who opened the scoring. Fabio Sareva neatly tucked away Kieran Murtaugh's cutback to score against his former side. That's his 5th league goal of the campaign. And just 4 minutes later, their lead was doubled after some good work by Jake Caprice on the right. His inviting cross was headed home by Gozi Ugwu. That's Ugwu's 1st league goal since August. Scoring goals hasn't been Woking's problem this season. They've scored in 19 of their 20 league games. They wrapped up all 3 points with 15 minutes remaining when Caprice and Ugwu combined once again to make it 3. That's Gary Hill's side's first victory on the road this season, which sees them move out of the relegation zone.
Dover hosted Guiseley in front of a crowd of more than 3,000 as a new 500-seater stand was shown off at Crabble. The home team could have been forgiven for having an FA Cup hangover after Thursday's exertions in a first-round replay against Cambridge, where they eventually lost 4-2 after extra time. But Chris Kinnear's side came to life in the second half, breaking the deadlock through who else but Ricky Miller, who was credited with his 19th of the campaign, despite a slight Moses Emmanuel deflection. 3 minutes later, there was no debate about the scorer as Emmanuel found himself with time and space and slotted home his 4th of the season. Into the latter stages, and Dover had opportunities to make the scoreline more convincing as Guiseley keeper Johnny Maxted showed great reflexes to keep out Miller and Emmanuel. Before Emmanuel turned his shot over from 10 yards. The result was never in doubt as Dover secured their 4th win in 5 to remain only a point outside the playoffs. Guiseley dropped to the bottom of the pile.
2 more sides who were in FA Cup action in the week were Boreham and Southport, with both teams exiting the competition at the hands of Notts County and Fleetwood Town respectively. Southport have experienced a mini revival under Steve Burr, having climbed out of the relegation zone thanks to 3 wins and a draw from their last 4. But it was the hosts who should have taken the early lead when Bruno Andrade screwed his volley wide from just 6 yards. Half an hour gone and Boreham did find the net. Kenny Davis exchanging a neat 1-2 with Angelo Balanta before coolly slotting past Magnus Norman in the Southport goal. And in a game of few clear-cut chances, Luke Garrard's side secured the 3 points with 13 minutes to play. On loan Bristol Rovers forward Jamie Lucas expertly finishing his 1st of the season. Boreham move up to 8th as their impressive season continues.
We've had a difficult week this week, obviously with the replay and extra time. Seems to take a lot out of the lads, but I was reasonably pleased. We just didn't get our passing going today like we have done.
North Ferriby United took on Sutton United at Grange Lane without a win in 10 games, a run stretching back to September. The hosts also had to deal this week with the loss of influential captain Danny Clark, who left to work with old boss Billy Heath at Halifax. In what was the first fixture between these two in any competition, the hosts grabbed the advantage after 11 minutes. Sam Topless was not covered in the box, allowing him to head home keeper Rory Watson's free kick. Just moments into the second half, North Ferriby made it 2. Reece Thompson dispossessed Jamie Collins before steering in his 3rd of the campaign. This was only the 2nd time this season the home side had scored 2 goals in a game. This appeared to spark the visitors into life. First, Kevin Amankwa's back post header was somehow scrambled off the line before they eventually halved the deficit with 15 minutes remaining. Maxime Biamou poking his shot through Watson. But it was too little too late as North Ferriby held on to take all 3 points, much to the delight of boss Steve Howsham.
Great support from the fans, I'm delighted for them, but most of all delighted for the players because it's been a tough week for us all. We've lost our big leader and we've gone on and got a win. That's 3 games unbeaten now and hopefully keep this run going for this month.
Chester had lost just one of their last 11 games when they met a Bromley side looking to make it 3 wins on the bounce. A real positive for Neil Smith's side this season has been the form of Blair Turgott. The winger recently received a call-up to the England C squad as a reward for his impressive display so far this campaign. And he made it 5 goals in 6 games after 15 minutes when he capitalised on a mix-up in the home defence. Into the second half, and the hosts were given a real opportunity to draw level when Connor Diamond was adjudged to have tripped Kane Richards in the box. Tom Shaw was the man who stepped up to send Alan Julian the wrong way from 12 yards as Chester came from behind to earn a point for the second week running.
Kevin Nicholson was scathing about his Torquay players after last week's 2-0 defeat at lowly Guiseley, labelling the performance as disgusting, so he'd have been hoping for a much better one at home to Wrexham. It did not start well, with a goal conceded after just 10 minutes. A Jordan Evans ball was met by Jerry McDonough, who's on loan from Nottingham Forest, and he netted his 3rd of the season. Soon after, the visitors almost made it 2, but Mark Carrington was unfortunate to see his 30-yard strike crash off the post. Kiefer Moore signed for the hosts on loan from Forest Green in the week. The forward was formerly part of the Goals Academy and had once been a ball boy at Plainmoor. He was unlucky to see this effort hit the bar. After the break, woodwork action for a 3rd time. This time Nathan Blissett and the bar involved. Torquay pressure finally paid off with minutes remaining when Moore rose highest to head home the equaliser, capping a debut to remember. But there was to be further late drama when Paul Rutherford thought he'd won it for Wrexham, only to be denied by the linesman's flag, ensuring it finished all square.
Overall, I can't moan. They kept going till the end. They lose themselves a little bit when the pressure's on and you want them to keep playing football, and it's difficult. I know that when you're struggling, but for the most part, I'm happy with the effort they put in.
So Torquay moved 3 points clear of the relegation zone with that draw. Woking gave themselves some breathing space from the bottom 4 too. Their first win on the road will give fans hope they have enough quality to stay in this division. But what about York City? Gary Mills' side were relegated from League 2 last season. As it stands, they're on course for a successive drop if form does not improve. Up at the top end, Lincoln's victory over Forest Green Rovers opens up the title race. That was Mark Cooper's first loss in 11 matches. They welcomed 3rd place Tranmere Rovers to the new lawn on Tuesday, a side unbeaten since Mickey Mellon took charge. Wins for Gateshead, Boreham Wood and Macclesfield Town see them move up to 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Time to mark your card now for Saturday the 17th of December as our cameras head to Moss Rose, where John Askey's Macclesfield Town welcome Neil Smith's Bromley to Cheshire. That's at 11:45 on BT Sport 1 and in glorious 4K. That's all we've got time for this week. Just a quick reminder that if you miss our show, then you can catch up on all the weekend's action on our dedicated YouTube channel, and it's all for free. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.